All right, guys, Devin from Merit Outdoor. Today, we're going to do a comparison video of the Prime Rivix in the Inline 5. This is the 34 Rivix. This is the 35-inch axle Inline. I've got specs for both the bows. We're going to go through that here in just a second. Now, this is not a video of like which one's better or which is anything like that. These are both very good bows. Both bows shoot amazing. But we're gonna do like a side-by-side, head-to-head video. And to be fair, I took my long stabilizer bars off this bow, and we're just gonna share one of our Merit Archery product stabilizer bars. So, Inline 5. Let's do a rundown on it. And I took notes. Bada boom, bada bang. Let's go. A lot of times I go into these blind, but not today. Okay. The Inline 5 specs: 35-inch axle to axle, IBO rating 342, draw length between 26 and 30.5 inches. The bow's weight is 4.5 pounds. Draw weights range from 30 to 80 pounds. Okay. The Prime Revex. See, boys, we took notes. Okay, 34-inch axle to axle, brace height 6.25. I need to look up what the brace height is on that one. IBO speed 338. The mass weight of the bow is 4.6 pounds. Draw weight or draw length consisting of 26.5 to 30.5, and draw weights go from 50 to 80 pounds. And this is the core cam. That's the inline cam. First things to note off, this bow has a bushing down here on the back, so you don't have to mount your stabilizer bar on the inside like you do with this. It's aggravating. It can be very aggravating to get that bolt started, but once you get it on there, it's just, you know, it's fine. You'll never have to mess with it again. Both bows have a lot of similarities. I believe that they're close to the same riser design. They both have the same swirl design. I mean, these bows are very very closely similar. The only thing different really is the cam. I'm not sure what the deflection is on these bows, or I know that this is a 3-inch deflection. I don't know what the Revix is, but we're gonna fire some shots off with it and see how the draw cycle feels. Now, this bow I'm running a Vapor Trail Rest. That bow I'm running the Hamsky. Just wanted to try something different. So, all right. And what we're going to do, essentially, is we'll shoot some target arrows, and we'll shoot some hunting arrows out of both bows. So, we'll get a feel, draw feel, the all-in-all let off. So this bow here is string stops. This one here is limb stops. Sorry for the noise. They're doing some work up at the clubhouse. All right, so we're 25 yard. Minimal stabilization. I'm gonna bring the camera on up so you guys can see too. Another thing, the draw length on this bow isn't quite right. It needs to be 29 and a half, but the modules have not came in yet. This bow is at 29 and a half, so it will have that half of an inch advantage. If it makes that big of a difference, it could. I'm not sure. Okay, 25. Yeah, all right, so the initial, it's pretty stout there in the beginning. But once you roll over, it's like butter. And you see here, you've got a little squish in the back end, which is good. Some archers like that. I personally prefer a stiffer back wall. That's just me. A lot of archers will prefer a they want a little bit of give, which there's nothing wrong with that either. It's really just personal preference. I'll shoot another one. But when it, okay. So like letting it down. So if you're at a full draw shot to let down, it doesn't really feel like it's going to throw your arm out, which is good. Oh, it's really smooth. Okay. There's no hand shock at all with this bow. There's none. It's incredibly dead in the hand. I mean, absolute just flat. Boom. And it's really quiet. Really quiet. I'm grouping low left. That's okay. I still haven't really fine-tuned sighted this bow in yet because I'm still waiting on the draw module, so I'm not going to invest too much time in getting it perfect. So let's try with the target arrow. Now this arrow is about 50 grains lighter. Now let's just see if it sounds any different. Point of impact is going to change, of course, but we'll see how the bow reacts to it. This is a PS26. Whoa, that sucker's shooting fast with that. Okay. Wow. Put it pretty high. Whew. Don't want to mess the arrow up. But the thing's smooth, and I'm really anxious to see what it's like with the correct draw modules. Correct draw modules, this thing will be great. Okay, my group opened up definitely with them arrows, but that's okay. Hopefully you guys could see me in that frame. Let's do one more. Oof. Okay. Let's just go peek at that group. All right. So this bow we see we're shooting a pretty good group, but it is to the left. That's fine. To the right. So our point of impact with PS25 or 6s was a little bit higher. I was in with the middle. That's to be expected with a lighter arrow, and it's not 100% tuned for these arrows. But for virtually no stabilization, that's a really decent group. 25 yard. We're gonna go shoot that we'll go shoot that inline and see what's going on. All right, so one thing that I did fail to mention, that the Rivix definitely is going to be an easier tuning bow for somebody who is, let's say, like new to archery or whatever. The reason I say that is, so this bow here from the factory, you can read the instruction manual. I just done a build video on this bow. Your knocking point is exactly 2 inches above the riser, so you can't run levels on this bow and set it up. If you set it to 90 degrees, you'll get a knock, low tear. So you either have to like tiller tune it, or just, you know, go by the knocking point, put your arrow knock on the top of that little brass, tie in your knock sets, and it's ready to go. But your arrow is going to have the appearance of running slightly down the hill. It works. And it's something that they did correct on the new bow. So You know, the Revex, you can set it to 90 degrees. I believe it was 7/8 off the riser. The same as this bow, done, immediate bullet hole. The only reason why this one tuned as fast as it did, both bows tuned within 5 shots, but if you were to buy an inline and you didn't read the manual, or you got it second hand and you went to set it up, naturally you're going to run it, you're going to want to run it 90 degrees or parallel. It's not going to work for you. You're going to have to set it 2 inches above the center line of the string or the bow, and that is your knocking point. But all right, let's fill the inline. And of course, with the inline, you have adjustable draw modules. This one is modular specific, so which a lot of you guys already know this. Let's see what this bad boy does. All right. Draw cycle in the beginning feels almost the same. To me, it feels the same. Both bows are 70 pounds. Right there's a hell of a peak. Boom. But when it dumps off, that back wall is like a rock. I mean, it's steady. This bow is definitely louder. As you can hear, it's got a thunk. It's got a heck of a twang to it. I feel like this bow is a lot more aggressive. It is a lot more aggressive. It's got some vibration. It's got some hand shot. It's not anything that's like, oh my God, this is terrible. No, it's not. It's very manageable. Good set of bars, good dampeners. It'll clean it right up. This bow, this riser is essentially a Nexus series riser or a Black series riser. I can't remember, but you can dual cam swap these. You can inline swap the Nexus bows or the Black series bows. I thought about doing that one of these days, but you know, nothing I'm really going to invest time into. Oh yeah. You can hear that thunk. It's twangy, very twangy. Now this bow is actually tuned and sighted in for these arrows. Now I normally run 9 ounces in the back, 2 ounces in the front, a 12-inch back bar, 30-inch front bar. But we're just trying to keep this comparison as even as we can. Ooh. So without stabilizer bars, this thing is a booger to shoot. At least for me it is. Those stabilizers, I didn't really realize that the stabilizers made that big of a difference. I made a really bad shot on the first one. I gotta get my feet placed when I ride. I feel all funky, kind of on a hill and not making good shots. Oh, I feel like this bow's a whole lot harder to keep still. Like that one there, I could keep it really steady, even though our point of impact wasn't where we wanted it. It's just because it wasn't sighted in. But once the bow would be sighted in, I feel like I could hold the Rivix a lot more stable. Let's do a let down here. Let's okay. So that thing feels close to the same. Close to the same. One more shot with that. Okay. let's go look at that. All right, so this was our group on the arrows that it's not tuned for. Slightly low, not bad. That bow is carrying some speed. So I know that this bow will group incredibly well, and I've already Robin Hooded. Yesterday I Robin Hooded some arrows indoor. Don't want to do that anymore, so I will not shoot these out of the black or out of the inline at the same spot because it's accurate. So that's at 25 yard, no stabilizer bar, essentially. Just a little one. But that was where I was aiming. That was where I was aiming. This was the first shot I pulled that shot. But I feel like I'm more accurate with the inline. All right, so now that we have a little bit of preliminary data, I'm gonna take the stabilizer completely off. And we're gonna make one shot each with the arrows that the bow is tuned for. This bow is tuned and set up for a PS26. It's sighted in for a PS26. It's shooting PS26s. No stabilizer bar, nothing. So this will give us a little bit better of a reading. And now I'm gonna say it again, this is not a which one is better than the other, because you guys can make your own determinations. I will say that this bow is faster. I'm gonna shoot this bow 3D this year. This is gonna be my 3D bow. This is gonna be my bow hunter series. So on the bow hunter series, you got, you lock your sight down, you have fixed pins. So I'll shoot that one, I'll set it at 20, lock it down, I'll have a 20 and like a 35, and I'll gap my 30. And that's how I'm gonna do it. I feel like that bow will be really great for that, but I can't really do much with that bow right now, being that the draw length is not right, and that's no one's fault. When the modules will get here, we'll revisit this type of video. But all in all, they're both phenomenal bows, and I like them. So, all right. I think I high shot that one. So holding this thing without stabilizer bars, unlike this right here, a lot of that's just me. And I did high shoot it, but that's fine. It's fine. This bow is tuned on stabilizer bars. Okay, let's see what the Rivix does. Now, I did adjust my left and right to get it back closer because you guys know that it wasn't exactly right. But that's okay. So we're gonna fix it all very soon. All right, so here's the one shot. So you notice that bow's loud. Listen how quiet this is. Oh, that draw cycle. So after pulling that one, you have to put some energy into pulling it back. So I'm used to shooting that one because I've shot it all morning, and then I go to shoot this thing and it feels like I'm pulling a 60-pound bow, and it's 70. So it's definitely a good bit smoother. I can definitely hold this one a lot more stabler. Interesting. We'll go see where those impacts were. All right. So I know that my sight tape, pretty sure it's not right for this one because that should have been in the dot. So this is what's, running heavier stabilizer bars is, it's kind of keeping the bow down and flat. That's pretty good. That's not bad. And it says 25 yard, but it might not be. But I mean, that's pretty dang close to where we wanted it to impact. Both bows, no stabilizer bars, just open bows. All right, so let's say if I had to make a choice between these two bows. Okay, if I'm gonna hunt, I'm gonna take this one. Honestly, this is really hard comparison because they're both excellent. Okay, let's break down the goods on this one. The good on this one is rotate modules. The bad is it's got a lot of vibration and it's loud. This thing is modular specific, draw length specific, so that's a downside, but that's not bad. If you know what your draw length is, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. I would say you have a better shot of selling this bow if you had to dump it off, because you could change the draw mods out to whoever needed it. Tunability, this bow wins. 90 degrees down the line, it's good. This one, you know, if you read the instruction manual, it's easy to tune. Come on, guys, a lot of us don't read the instruction manual, so y'all know that ain't gonna work. The back bar mount, this one mounts on the inside, this one mounts on the outside. This is easier to set up. Both bows weigh the same. I like the backstop on this one. I like the solid limb stop. I personally have never been a fan of string stops. I just don't like it. So, I mean, that's just a personal thing. Some people love string stops. I prefer a limb stop. I don't want anything to come in contact with my string. So, it ain't gonna hurt nothing, but I have seen on Matthews where the draw stops on the Matthews will beat the serving up on string, and that's not cool. But so far, this bow has had no issues with that, and I've probably put close to 1,000 shots to it, and you can see that serving is still just as good as it was the day I got it. Now, I haven't shot the Revex 6 that's coming out. It's supposed to be the ultimate 3D bow. I opted for this one because I think this is a good do-all bow. So this bow is something that I would take to Total Archery Challenge, of course, with the correct draw length and with a set of bars front and back. I do believe you're going to have to run front and back bars on it. Not everyone has to. I do, because I do shake and move a little bit, and those bars help clean that up. So really, well, I'm just going to say this. I wouldn't have bought another Inline if I didn't like it. Well, you get a lot of hate for this, but personally, I like the Inline bow better. That's just me. I feel like I can be more accurate with it. I wish I could have, well, I wish I would have recorded some over at Dad's a little while ago. But, I mean, I'm hammering with this bow, and I will probably hammer with this bow as well. The downside is my draw length's not correct, so I know that I'm developing bad habits while shooting this bow, which I don't need to do. So, my personal opinion, I like the Inline series better. But only for, this is just a personal thing. It's not that this bow is bad. This bow is excellent. I mean, it shoots phenomenal. And whenever I shoot this bow more, I'm sure that I will learn to love it. Now, whenever this thing gets the correct draw modules on it, this might outshoot this one all day long. I don't mind the bow to jump forward. So if I'm shooting target, the way that I have my bows weighted is when this thing fires, it doesn't fall on its nose. It doesn't sink straight down. This bow stays parallel and it jumps forward. So I like a bow to have kick. This bow has no kick. To target shoot. Now, to target shoot, I want kick. This bow doesn't have the kick that I like. I like kind of like the Black series, the 9 bow. It had some kick to it. The older solid limb primes, they had kick to them. A lot of people hated that kick, but I like kick in a target bow. I like the response of the bow lunging forward. It just helps me break my shot better. This one would be an excellent bow to sit in a deer stand with. You can pull it back gently. It feels like a 60-pound bow. You know you're pulling a 70-pound bow with this one. You don't know that you're pulling a 70-pound bow. I mean, this, if I was to hand this to somebody, they'd say, oh damn, that's a 60-pound bow, God, that's smooth. And then you tell them, nah, it's 70-pound bow. Another cool little thing on the prime serial numbers, the last 3 digits is what the actual poundage is. So this is like 72.4 and this one is 70.8, which is kind of cool. I mean, I don't know how I guess whenever they draw test it or whatever, and they put the serial number to the bow, I guess each bow limbs vary just a little bit. But guys, I encourage you to shoot both bows. They're great. Both bows are excellent. Yeah, if you guys like videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe. And hopefully I'll have some more content out very soon. But hopefully these draw mods come in and we can really do some testing.